told me to kneel down. I thought it was a joke. Flog, not beat. Beat is normal. Beat is like they slap you or something. With cane. Yeah. I think that was the last time because I had to hold the cane for the first time in my life. I don't know where that audacity came from. I held the cane and I stood up. I was like, why are you flogging me? Started extramarital affairs and things like that. Not because I want to, just because you are trying to validate your existence. And honestly, it's just so crazy how one sentence can just change the trajectory of your life. One day, another of this type of incident happened and I went haywire again. And my husband, in his normal fashion, didn't say anything. And then after everything, my husband just said, I'm not your father. Their mom came back from work one day and called all of them into the room. And me too, I ran to come and join them. I think she said something like kids or something. So me said follow as kids now. As I was just entering the room, she just stopped me. The last child entered, she closed the door. So one came out with biscuit to give me. And then I just heard the mother call her, come back here. She just entered the room, just did that like this and pushed her into the room and closed the door. And then they didn't come out again for a while. Then after a while, when she eventually came out, she now said, sorry, I wanted to give you, but my mommy did not allow me.
Guys, welcome back to season 3 of How They Healed. If you're wondering where season 1 and 2 is, it's on this YouTube channel. Just scroll to the playlist of How They Healed. You can watch season 1 and 2. How They Healed was created because I healed from having a child at 19, 14 heartbreaks, 15 abortions, and a divorce. Today, I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist and a family life coach. I help people heal from trauma, emotional pain, dysfunction for a greater life of abundance and meaning. So, subscribe to this channel so that you can be the first to watch when a new episode drops. Stay tuned for the rest of the episode.
Hi guys, welcome to How They Healed. On How They Healed, you know how we do. We bring guests that share their story of healing, resilience, and growth so that you can learn. Our goal on How They Healed is to take you from a place of brokenness and pain to a place of power. As usual, I am your fine host, Lara Kudaisi Don Momo, popularly known as Dear Coach Lara. Today, I have a very, very interesting guest. See, I have known this woman for how many years now? And I must say, we just said it now before the camera started rolling. She has this sort of vibrant energy. She's everywhere she is. She brings warmth. She brings joy. She brings, if you're looking for that razzmatazz, she brings it. And today, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear her story. Beyond all of this, the real depth of who Amaka Chibuzo-Obi is. So, ladies and gentlemen, the confidence coach and the founder of Wise Round Table, yes, Amaka Chibuzo-Obi.
If you don't give me drum roll, I will roll it myself.
I said it.
Yes, so
I told you people, I have brought energy boost for you
Oh
today.
my God, Lara, it's so good to be here. Thank you
you
so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Do you remember the first day we met?
Yes, I do. I still remember exactly what you were wearing.
Yes, me too.
Yes, you were wearing a blue, this kind of jersey-like thing.
It's
with a
like
black
Lakers
skirt.
jersey with
Yes,
a mini skirt. At that time, my hair still there.
You see your hair still there. Small still there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And do you remember what happened that day? What do you remember?
How? Because a lot of things happened.
You see, when you meet people like this, that's what happens. Because they do the same. They give the same treatment to everybody.
Wait. Let me.
It was electric. Remember, we just kept saying, "Oh my God, our energy, you are the same."
You didn't go after the shoot.
Yes,
you didn't go. We now sat down. You will pay me back that money. You're still owing me. You're still paying me. You will still pay me back that money.
Did you not get value from the
Come on,
money?
dear. 80K for the audience. You will still pay me.
Max, I just
I know, but
love
it
you.
was amazing.
Yes, it was.
amazing.
Our
It
first
didn't
meeting was
seem like it was the first time we were meeting.
it looked as if we have known for. Remember, we're just
Absolutely.
hugging, we're just talking,
Absolutely.
we're gisting. You know, the studio, we talked and talked and talked in depth.
Yeah.
I was telling you, I bet cut some from you from this area. You were saying cut some from you. It was
Thank God for life.
yes,
And for
that
growth.
is who you are. That energy, that joy. Where do you get it from?
Well, I think it's me. It's in my DNA, really. My father is also very energetic.
Oh.
My mom was a bit on the calmer side, but I feel like aside from the fact that it's in my DNA, I also think that I decided to become this person as well,
Okay.
to negate a lot of the pain and hurts that I've had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're still going back to the pain and all.
Yes, so I think that is now like my you know, when they say you are doing this to pain and hurts, when you're trying to say no, you've got nothing on you, that kind of thing. Yes.
Say, you know, we know
that's why I hold myself. Like,
we don't
respect
fit
yourself.
say,
Respect yourself.
we
You
can
know,
do
that
nto.
kind of
Like
thing.
we're doing nto to pain
Yeah.
and hurt. So let's start from the beginning. What kind of a child were you?
Okay, child, right?
Yes.
So let's do 8 and below.
Okay.
I was very active, very vibrant, very confident. I was very outspoken. I'm that child that, you know, they'll say, other people would say she talks too much. But my mom never said that, right? So I was everywhere. If you don't want it said, then don't do it in front of me, because I will say it. You know, I was very, very, and I wasn't scared of people. I wasn't scared of letting my opinion be heard. I was actually very, very active and vibrant as a child. But that, like I said, 8 and below. Yeah.
So 8 up.
That's
That's when the real
tragedy struck at 8. So my mom died.
Oh wow.
Yes, so I lost my mom when I was 8 plus, and it was like a different version of me was born. Okay, so you know how you would, if somebody died, an 8-year-old does not have the full capacity to understand what that means. So it wasn't as if it was the death by itself that changed my personality, but it was now what started happening after that. So you would say, oh, this is a very confident child, so let me keep being confident, let me keep talking, let me keep, and then you just realize that the reason you were confident, the reason you were outspoken, was because your mom let it happen. And her not being there anymore, all those other people did not understand that. They could not deal with that. I chop beating in the hands of people like, you said this, why did you say this, why would you talk, shut up, you know, things like that. And a lot more people just letting you know that you don't fit in. So let me tell you one particular experience that let me know that things had changed. So after my mom died, just before the burial, I was taken somewhere to go and be with some people because my dad had to travel to the east to get things ready for the burial. So I went to this particular family to stay for a few weeks, and I was there oblivious of my new reality, right? The family had kids. A few of them were about my age, so it was good. It was cool for me. But I noticed something. The driver takes the kids to school and brings them back. He takes me to school too, but many times he would not come to bring me back. So there was this particular occasion that I was in school. I waited and waited and waited. Every single soul in my school had gone. I think that was the first time he didn't bring me back. So I didn't know that he wouldn't come. So I was just waiting in school. Everyone had gone home. I was just sitting on the steps where kids wait for their parents. I waited and waited, and something just told me, won't you just start going home? Thankfully, it is not this time that kidnapper every day and, you know, things like that. And their house, because my house to the school was very close, but because I wasn't going home, I was going to their house. it was some distance away. So let's say like it was more than 3-4 kilometers, and I had to trek.
How old were you? Do you
8 plus. My mom wasn't buried yet, so I wasn't 9. Yeah, it was 8, and so I had to trek. I trekked. When I now got home, and I entered. Where are you coming from? Hey, he forgot to come and pick you. That kind of thing. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, you picked everyone else. You now forgot me. So I let it go. That one wasn't anything.
remembering now?
Yeah, honestly.
That means it left
Yeah.
a dent.
Oh yes, it did. And then another incident happened where their mom came back from work one day and called all of them into the room. And me too, I ran to come and join them. I think she said something like kids or something. So me said follow as kids now. As I was just entering the room, she just stopped me. The last child entered, she closed the door. So I went and I sat down somewhere. And after a while, they came out. Then the little one came with biscuits to come and give me. Apparently, she had bought biscuits and was sharing to them inside the room. So the little one came out with biscuits to give me. And then I just heard the mother call her, come back here. She just entered the room, just did that like this and pushed her into the room and closed the door. And then they didn't come out again for a while. Then after a while, when she eventually came out, she now said, sorry, I wanted to give you, but my mommy did not allow me. So that just let me know that your life have changed. Because when my mom was alive, we were like upper middle class, right? But after she just died, everything just changed. So from
ill?
8, yes, she was ill for years. She was ill for as long as I could remember, actually. So but after 8, that's why I say my childhood is divided into into segments. After 8, it was just a different ball game from there on out. I lost my confidence. I tried to fit in everywhere I find myself, just people pleasing so that like me now, please like me, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's how it was.
Wow. Like how? I'm just thinking. You know how adults do things.
Yeah, and it's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's nothing to them.
You
Yes.
realize the impact that you can be leaving on somebody forever.
Absolutely. Those kind of reactions or behaviors leave lasting impressions. They will never remember. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
People that did it will never remember. Flippant words said, things done, they never remember. But for you that you were on the receiving end, you never forget. Right? And it changes who you are.
Of course.
At your core, it changes you. And so I tell people that a lot of people, even today, a lot of adults are moving around with a pseudo personality. A personality that was crafted out of pain, out of their minds trying to protect them. So they become a kind of person. There was a time in my life when people thought I was shy. I thought I was shy. Like I thought, oh, I'm a shy person. I'm so shy. I used to say it. I'm so shy. People in my secondary school today, many of them, when they see me, they're like, you, how? You changed. Like, it was later on with awareness and everything, I came to realize that I didn't really change. I just went back to who I am. What they know was the change. That wasn't me. It was me trying not to be seen, not to be heard. Just protect yourself so that rejection doesn't come. Protect yourself so that you don't get hurt. And so you just shrink and become somebody else. And then you're going around telling people, I'm the shy type.
Oh my goodness. This is
Yeah.
so, and I'm so excited that you're the one sharing it. Look at the irony.
Yeah.
Now that you're a confidence coach, did you come from there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So when I started Wife's Roundtable on radio, I actually chose radio to hide. Okay? I've always wanted to do media. Of course, you remember pre 8 years old and post 8 years old. That's how I usually demarcate my childhood. So pre 8 years old, I used to watch opera and things like that. Like I was a very TV person. And so those seeds were sown of, being on TV and just reaching a large number of people and things like that. So I really wanted to do that. But post 8 years old, it seemed like a dream that will never come to fruition. Like, how? Hey, you will now stay, people will now be looking at you. How? But there's something with a dream. No matter how far down you push it, it just never goes away, it never dies. And so when the Vision for Wives Roundtable came, I really wanted to help women, wives especially, go through marriage well. I really wanted wives to be able to be wholesome and well and fulfilled in marriage.
Where did that come from?
It came from me getting married and realizing that marriage was a different ball game, and there were not a lot of people talking about the things that happen in marriage. I got married in 2009, right? In 2009, I don't know whether Instagram was the way it's
Instagram was 2014
or thereabout, right? There was Facebook. There was Facebook, but Facebook was just close friends and families at the time. So after I got married, I remember the first couple of little issues I had with my husband, and I'm like, I need to talk to somebody. I'm an only child. Okay? I'm an only child. My mother no day. My papa is we're not that close. Well, when I say we're not that close, or I was raised in a very, very strict home, very strict upbringing, and so I was scared of him. So you don't have certain conversations with him. Not like he will chase you away, but fear go green.
Yes, now.
So
it's different from now.
no, now that you can just come and your kids can come and hey, how? So there was really no one I could open up to say, is this how this marriage thing is, or is my own having K-leg? So I tried to talk to a few people, but then I quickly realized that if you're not careful who you talk to about certain issues, you can also go the wrong way. You can get derailed, right? So I started Wives Roundtable as an online platform first. So I modeled it around Naira Land back then. Yes, so it started as a website, an anonymous website where you could sign up with a username and just let loose, vent. This was 2010, 2011. So I started our website, and about 800 and something people signed up at the time, and people were sharing their stories. You wouldn't know who is who, and people were responding, and it was doing well. But back then, tech was not too rampant back then in Nigeria. So the person that helped me build the site took the site ransom and things like that. Didn't want to give me some of the credentials and stuff like that. So I just abandoned the thing for the guy. I just left it. But that seed had been sown. So I now decided, how else can I do this? And I wanted to do it in a way that would make it a bit more personal, rather than just being cold and just there on the internet. And that was how the idea to have a program for it came up. And so I thought, okay, wouldn't it be nice to have wives just come in and we have these conversations? Like, I will tell you how I'm feeling and the things that I'm going through. And if you've gone through them before and, overcome, you can tell me how you overcame those things, right? So that was how I started Wives Roundtable. So it started out as a talk show where I would bring wives. It was strictly for wives at the time, and they would come and we'll discuss various issues and we'll just pat ourselves on the back and stuff like that. So I chose radio, going back to what I was saying. I chose radio because I wanted to hide, right? I didn't want people to see me. I didn't want the attention, in quotes. So I said, let's just hide behind the mic. You'll be hearing my voice, but nobody will see me. So that was how I got into that space. And that was in 2013. So we started Wives Roundtable. We're having more and more women come to share their stories. But then I quickly saw that in this life, it's not only marriage that is women's problem.
Yeah.
right?
I was going to say that when
It's
you
not.
brought me, I wasn't a wife.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And we didn't even discuss anything around
No, we
marriage
talked
or
about
stuff.
trauma,
Absolutely.
heartbreaks,
So I saw that there were many more issues that women had. Okay, so that was when I now started. So from 2015, I started opening the show up to anyone, wife, not wife, woman, not woman, anyone who had the sort of information that can help a wife, because wives are human beings now. Is it because they got married? They are regular human beings now. They have the normal problems that everyone has. So I started bringing people who could just give a woman somewhere, something that she can use to make her life better. And in doing all of this, that's the beauty of evolution. As you do one thing, you now see something else, you now grow and all of that. So as the program was growing, I now saw that lacuna around women not living their true selves.
So I know, because I'm a therapist and all that, our learnings
Yes,
and
yeah.
certifications, and I know that these things happen. But I'm still struggling to see how you, Amaka, with this burst of energy,
Hey.
now started reclining back then. So how did you go through life as a teenager, relationships, school, university?
My sister,
How did you do all
we were there. So the funny thing is this: there is an amazing, will I say it's an amazing thing, or it's an interesting thing that happens with people that have conflicting personalities. There's this interesting thing that happens in one space. You're your normal you.
Yes.
And then in another space, you're something different. So there are people who know me as a burst of energy, even back then. But there are people who will swear that this one cannot, no, it's not Amaka. She cannot say anything now. She cannot talk. So it depends on who I'm with. So if I'm with familiar people,
Okay.
I'm me. So my family would say she has always been like this. Like extended family, my cousins and things, they will say, she has always been like this. But people in maybe school would say, no, she's quite quiet. So when I'm with familiar people, I'm fine. My normal self comes out. But when I'm with unfamiliar people or people who I want to fit in with, that's other part comes. So it's like a masquerade that you wear. You wear it when you need it, and then you remove it when. So it was like that, and it's really weird because even you, it's quite confusing
to you,
to even you self. So yeah, that's just the journey, and so it was easy for me to recognize it in other people. Yes, it was easy for me to recognize it. So I invite somebody who I see online or who I met in a certain situation as a very quiet, seemingly introverted person, and then they come into my studio and they're whoa, and I'm like, my people, you're in my WhatsApp group.
So how did you do life in university at that period of life with this personality you're talking about?
So it's just like I said again, you find a way to manage the situations. So when it comes to dating, for example, when you see me as Bobo, you see me, you probably think, she's also, put together. I don't know whether I was actually that put together. But when we now actually get close, you will now see that real part of me. So it wasn't too tough on the outside, but for me it was. Why? Because I knew I was not being authentic.
So didn't that affect the choices of men you were making?
Oh yes, now it will because you're choosing based on a pseudo personality. Absolutely. Which is not really you. So sometimes you will choose well, you will choose right. Sometimes
how can you choose right? Sometimes?
No, when I say right, based on where you are at the time. Looking back now, it was not right. But based on where you were at the time, some were good choices, but some were not. If you're your authentic self, it's easier for you to choose the right person for you. But if you're you know, you're here today, you're there tomorrow, you want to fit in, you want to be this type of person because you feel like it's this type of person that guys like, so you want to be like that. And the weird thing is that, well, for me, I don't know for others, I was not doing that other part very well.
Which other part?
The part of, you know, trying to be a certain way so that
Okay,
guys
so that guys. So which part
I'm
are you
not
doing well?
authenticity, nothing beats it. When you're authentic self, you're doing it well. But when you're doing that other side, I was not doing it well. I was failing the exam in that side. Do you understand? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. When you're trying to be a certain way,
I know.
for some people they pull it off, but I couldn't
Yes,
really pull it off that well. Yeah, and that's why it was easy for me to come back to me,
myself.
because that other personality was not working. It wasn't really working for me. It
So
wasn't.
how, in which places, to cut you, you know, did you miss your mom? In which areas did he show?
Ah.
Look at the way she opened her mouth. Lara,
Hey,
question you did.
I don't understand though. In which area? You will ask me which area did you not miss? In academics, in dating, in just this life.
How?
In everything now. If your mom was there are certain mistakes you would make, and then you go and ask questions, or you even need to make those mistakes before you make them. Somebody would have told you, oh, road no dey here. This one you will just be, you know, when they say you are doing life on your own. Do you understand? I need it to sink in.
Yeah.
Only child,
Yeah, that's a
late
game.
mom, not very that close to dad to have those conversations. So when they say you are, so yes, my cousins were there, and to the best of their ability they did what they thought. But you know, when you're growing up knowing you're alone, you just know. So there are certain things you just feel like, let me not stress them before you now go. You know, you are scared of rejection, so you don't even want to put yourself in a position where there is rejection might happen. So that's what I'm saying, that I just went through life. I don't know, just you go like this, you jam wall, you come back, you know, say wall dey there, you come out, you go this way. So it was just a whole thing, and that's why every time I look back I give God the glory, because it was easy for me. Yes,
How did you not?
It was very
Because
easy for me to
children
be
like
lost.
that fall into statistics of,
Very
so
easy.
How do you do it?
And so I feel like it also comes down to, see, if you start on time with your kids, there is just something that it does to them. My mom died when I was 8, but a lot of the things I do today I still attribute to her. My empathy comes from her. As early as back then, she had started talking to me. She had started, you know, I don't think she knew she was going to die, but she had already started sowing some seeds, right? So even when I had the freedom and the opportunity to go haywire, there was still that thing that kept me back. You know, yeah, some people, sometimes I say, oh yeah, it's my dad, because yes, you cannot wayward in my father's house. You know, you cannot wayward. But then even at that, I saw people who damned the consequences, who said is one thing, you either kill me or you don't, you know.
Or people who were somebody else
out there and then
they
come home.
to be
Absolutely. So I feel like it was that upbringing from her initially kept me grounded. My faith as well, you know, it kept me grounded. I'm a Catholic, and for us Catholics, they tell you about hellfire on time.
Really?
Yes, they tell you.
Pentecostals used to
Oh
people don't
no, they tell you a lot. In fact, graphic representation. So a lot of the things that you want to do, you already think, if I do it now, if I die here now, what's happen? You know. So I think my faith, my mom, my dad too, in his own way, all of those things helped, you know, cushion it. But mistakes were made still. Oh yeah.
We're still going back to those mistakes. But I just wanted to chip this in, that research, psychology says to us that children are formed from age 7. Below and at age 7, a child is formed.
Yeah.
So, which is why your mom's words and behavior and all of those could leave an everlasting
impact.
even though it was just 8 years
Absolutely.
you spent with her.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's funny when my aunties or some people would say things like, "Oh, you won't remember your mom." Some of them still believe that. Oh, she doesn't remember her mom. It was such a long time. I just laugh at them. I remember her. Like, I remember her too much. Self. The my mom. I can't even remember how old I was then because it wasn't the year she died, so I wasn't 8, right? But we used to go to SOS Village, and she will make me pick out the things that I would donate to the kids there. Do you get? Like, it was the grounding was deep. It was deep. So that helped me. It helped me. But it was now a double-edged sword.
Okay.
So I was now thinking to myself, if just 8 years with her made me like that, how would 20 years with her have made me? Do you get? So sometimes, those kind of thoughts come to say, if you had just a little bit more time with her, how would you have turned out? But the truth is,
What do you
we'll
think
never
that would
know.
have done?
I don't know. Maybe by now for being,
If you'll be
I
waiting.
don't know.
You are what God wants you to be. That's it, because
I don't know.
the human mind tends to look for what we don't have.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
You will always wonder, even if you have both parents, you would have
Yeah.
wondered, what if we came from money?
There would always be
there
something.
Would always be
There would
something.
always be something.
And
Absolutely.
this is what I tell people: focus on where you are.
Yeah.
Focus on what you have, and stop focusing on
What coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yes, on what could have been.
What could have been.
What should have been.
Yeah.
Focus on what you have. Look at you. You didn't have your mom for the major part of your life, and look at you.
Yeah.
I am proud of the woman that I know that you
Yeah,
are today.
absolutely. And the truth is that her not being around is the reason I'm a confidence coach today.
I wanted to get to
Yes,
that.
that's the reason. Because if I hadn't lost my way, if I hadn't developed low self-esteem, if I hadn't had that lack of confidence for so long and gone through all of those things that all of those limitations cost me to go through, I wouldn't be able to understand where my clients are coming from today. I won't be able to help them. There is nothing that people come to tell me today about low self-esteem and lack of confidence that I don't know like the back of my hand. There is nothing. Like, before they start, I'm waiting for them at the junction. And they're like, "Oh, you understand?" I understand. I lived it. I was inside there. So when I try, sometimes as human beings now, you will feel bad, like, why did this have to happen to me, and all of that. But then you now also look at it from the other, reframe, like we call it, and then you say, if this didn't happen, you wouldn't have been where you are today. If this didn't happen, you wouldn't have the knowledge you have today. If this didn't happen, you won't be able to help all these people that you're helping today.
That's what we do in therapy.
Yeah,
and these
absolutely.
Courses. I tell people, you have to reframe. For instance, this is my own story. I had a child at 19, 14 heartbreaks, 15 abortions, divorce, and now I'm healing, or I've healed. I'm helping people to heal, and also help them have significant mind shift. If I didn't go through all of that, I won't be here.
Absolutely.
That's reframing. Instead of holding on to,
the
I
hurt.
was heartbroken. Oh, I had 14 heartbreaks. What did it help you become?
Do or become.
You
Absolutely.
understand? That's how to heal.
Move from cause and effect. Yeah.
See, woman, now you just finished cause. The thing is still the
height. It's still height.
So how did you heal from all of these experiences? Losing your mom, all the mistakes you made, low self-esteem. How did you heal?
Okay, so I always credit the start of my healing journey to my husband.
That was good.
Yes. So when I got married, right, I had no idea anything about coaching, about therapy. I didn't know any of that. My husband also didn't know. But what he didn't know was that he was now the informal therapist for me. Even without knowing what therapy was, both of us, we didn't know any of those things at the time. But he sort of like stepped into the role of an informal therapist for me. What do I mean? So I've told you a little bit about my relationship with my dad. My dad was super strict, and so I grew up with that, fear of talking to him and all of that. And so I made a mental decision, even without knowing. I told myself that no man was going to ever have that sort of power over me, that no man was going to, dominate me or stuff like that. The one way my papa do, don't do, that kind of thing. It was very unconscious. It wasn't like I sat down one day and decided I am going to, no. In fact, I didn't even know it was a decision I made until much later. Right. So my husband is calm, he's quiet, he's reserved and all that. So when we I think it was while we were still dating safe, and then every little thing that happens, I will blow. Anger now, the deep-seated anger, deep-seated pain. I will blow. I will, and he would just be quiet. He wouldn't say anything. And then when we finish, he would now be like, I don't understand why you are always so, angry and I beg. Don't tell me that. What's that? You made me angry now. Why will I not be angry? And he went on and on like that until one day. And honestly, it's just so crazy how one sentence can just change the trajectory of your life. One day, another of this type of incident happened, and I went haywire again. And my husband, in his normal fashion, didn't say anything. And then after everything, my husband just said, I'm not your father. You are so angry. And I have a feeling that is all of the anger that you could not show, you could not express towards your father, that you are pouring on me. But I am not your father. Of course, I was like, hey, you're not my father. Wait till you chop before you won't be my father. And that's past, but that thing stuck with me. That thing, I was like, it could be true. Could it be that I am just so angry? Maybe because I could not, tell my father certain things. Like when you feel like you've been unjustly punished, you're supposed to be able to say, oh, well, Daddy, I don't think, but you're not able to say that. So some of those things, you swallow them, but they now come out, they erupt in another way. Could it be that this is why I am this way? Could it be that? So I never told him that, but I just kept thinking about it in my head. Like, hey, God, could it be? And so in the last few years of my father's life, I tried to, even without knowing NLP or any of those things, I tried to make peace with my dad. So I tried to understand where he was coming from, because I realized that if I did not deal with that anger, I was going to ruin my marriage. Because this guy, I don't know how much he can take of this madness. Do you get? So I now started, back then my dad had taken ill at the time, but I now started making a mental, a conscious decision to travel home more frequently, to sit with him. We will talk, although there will still be some small distance. So but I started sitting with him, having conversations, and then I started seeing him, like really seeing him. Because up until this point, he was just one wicked person in my mind. But when I now started having those conversations with him, I now started realizing something. He too had pain and trauma in his life. I had never wondered why he never remarried.
I was going to ask you that next.
Do you understand? So I now started seeing that this man, for about 18 years, my mom died. This conversation I'm talking about now was happening about 20 years later, 20 years later, right? So this man had still not really recovered from the death of his wife, right? And look at him there. His wife, that he loved more than life itself, had died, leaving one child, a female. So How am I going to raise this one? He doesn't know anything about raising a child, talk more of a female child. So he was parenting from a place of fear. And that's where all that gbasgbos was coming from. Because he too was terrified. The beating now, my father flogged me even at 23. Yes, I knelt down. I thought it was a joke. Hey, I came back from university that final year there, I've been waiting. And I don't even know what I did. And he told me to kneel down. I thought it was a joke. Flog, not beat. Beat is normal. Beat is like they slap you or something. With cane.
At 23.
Yeah. I think that was the last time because I had to hold the cane for the first time in my life. I don't know where that audacity came from. I held the cane and I stood up. I was like, why are you flogging me?
The shock. Yeah, I won.
You know. So I now realized that this guy was also parenting from a place of fear, from a place of panic. Like, hey, God, with this girl, will she get wayward? Will she, So he's doing everything in his power to prevent that from happening. This I wouldn't have known if I did not start getting close to him. And this wouldn't have happened if my husband had never made that statement. So that was the turning point for me. So I started getting close to my dad, such that by the time he died, we were actually pretty close. Like we could now have conversations easily. My heart is not pounding when I'm talking to him and all of that. So after he died, I now realized that emotions are a strong thing. Upbringing is a powerful thing. So I think I started looking for answers, and then people come on the show. I started Wife Roundtable at the time. People will come and talk about their upbringing and then talk about their lives today, and then I'm seeing the connection, and then I'm asking myself, so this is how powerful this thing is. And so that was where the journey for me now started, the journey to question, who am I? What is my true identity? How do I become better so that these women that come on my show to talk don't just come talk and go? I can also assist them to live better lives. I think I realized early enough that you can't help people heal if you haven't healed yourself. And I knew that I needed to heal from a lot of things. So those questionings started. That seeking for answers started. When I was coming up into your studio today, I saw a place that is written, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And that's by Rumi, yes. And that's exactly how it was for me. Coming to that realization that I needed this growth, I needed to develop, I needed to heal. I now started seeing opportunities that was bringing that to my fore.
What were the opportunities?
So first of all, I had a friend. So I did Wives Roundtable, but I wasn't certified or anything. I was just good at what I was doing, interviewing women, getting them to open up about their lives, getting other people to learn from their stories and all of that. But then I quickly realized that it wasn't enough. Some of these people would listen to the show and then they will send me emails asking me what they should do in their lives about certain aspects of their marriages. And I didn't want to be giving people advice from a place of native intelligence, So I started looking for ways to train as a counselor, to at least be able to, not to do coaching, but to be able to give professional counsel for the problems that they were facing. And so as I was searching, one day I was just on Facebook and I was just scrolling, and then I saw a flyer that says, do you want to help couples have a better marriage? I was like, yeah. And then I looked at it and it was the Institute for Family Systems Engineering. Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, let me see what they're saying. And then they had a program coming up, and then I went for it. It was very rigorous, now. So that was how I got into that. It was just to help the women coming on the show and to help my listeners who had marital issues, just for me to give them counsel, for me to be able to respond to their emails professionally without having to say, if it is me, hey, I will break his head. So that was where that started. But it's so funny how I did it for other people, but it now, yes,
That's
yes.
the story of every therapist,
Yes.
every counselor,
Yes, so
every coach.
it
That's what
was
it's
now majorly for me, helping me as well, because to be honest with you, if I had not started this journey of personal development and healing and all of that, I don't think I'll still be married today. I honestly don't think so. If he didn't leave, maybe me, I would have I would have packed my bags. So it's a very interesting thing. My life is just it's just weird how God takes us to where we are supposed to go part time, and things just click. Things just click. If I was not that hot-headed person, and my husband now had to tell me, I'm not your father, I would not have. And I'm not for day here today. We would not have met. A lot of things would not have happened.
Yes.
So honestly, God is a master chess
Yes,
player.
that's why the Bible says everything works together.
Honestly.
For them that love God.
Yeah.
And that's why I also tell people, don't be too afraid. Have I missed it in life? Because you would always. This is how
You're
life
right
is.
where you're supposed to be.
You're right where you're supposed to be, and circumstances and courses of life will take you to where exactly you're supposed to be. And
Absolutely.
I wanted to point this out before I go to my next question about you talking to your dad. First of all, I need you to know this today. Somebody listening to this, you're going to heal them. You're going to deliver them.
Yeah.
From that, because a lot of people don't know how. My dad did this. My mom did this. My sister did this. My brother did it. They don't even know how to move forward.
Absolutely.
And look at what you did, and see the intelligence and wisdom that you had as a then.
And at the time, I didn't even know the impact of what I was doing. I just did not want to be angry with him forever. And I didn't want that anger to spread into my marriage and hurt my marriage. So I was like, yes, he did all of that, but let's make peace. Let's make, because he didn't have any
He didn't even know what
he did. So it's me. So let me make peace. So I now went, and I wanted to understand him. So having those conversations, I now started to understand. I started to understand. People do the best they can with what they know.
And understanding helps healing.
Yes.
When you understand the people that hurt you, it would help you heal.
Absolutely.
Look at how you have been able to frame it now. He was parenting from fear.
He
was
panic,
lonely,
anxiety. He was lonely, very lonely. Very lonely.
That could make somebody bitter.
I mean, it's so easy for us.
Loss.
Yes, it's so easy for us to cast those aspersions. But put yourself in his shoes.
Yes.
I'm just even thinking about it. Losing your significant other, one child alone, just you and that one child. And honestly, it's different for men than women.
Yes.
Do you know
it's
that
men
different?
Find it difficult to heal from
After
their trauma? Especially, I can tell you this because my husband lost his first wife.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
to death.
Yeah.
And I knew the state he was when I met him. I'm telling you, he was. I'm done.
I don't think my father ever healed. I don't think till he died. I don't think he ever
it's
healed.
Such a big deal.
I don't think he ever healed. So you're parenting this girl child in a changing world. So you are doing the best you can because you believe if you release the pedal small, this only thing that you have
child
will just enter.
You don't even know his thoughts in his head.
Yes.
I must not fail my wife.
Exactly. Because let me even tell you, I went to one of the most expensive schools in the East at the time, and we did not have money. We didn't have money like that. It was later after I was grown. It was during my conversations with my dad, much later, that I realized that he sold the properties we had to send me to that school. Why? Because he promised my mom that I was going to go there. So property where for don't inherit now.
Yes.
Now they used to train me for school.
They don't invest inside you.
So
you understand?
Because I was wondering, why did I have to go to that school? I had no business being in that school. The people that were there were like, do you see this thing there? Are you kidding? Convoy. Do you understand? My father will come with his 504. Sometimes he will come when he wants to go. Motor will be doing, you know. But I was wondering, why didn't he take me to, other schools? I didn't know he promised my mom that I was going to go there. So he did everything he could. He sold properties, like properties that him and my mom bought back then in Lagos, to take me to that school.
Which was why he would
So
be so hard.
that's why
on you.
I now understood that what he didn't come from a place of hate. He couldn't have hated me and sacrificed. Honestly, if he hated me after my mom died, he would have said, well, I beg. Do you understand?
Yes, now
I'll go and learn work.
That's, me, I'm Yoruba. You people are Easterners.
Do you understand?
So you will still go to school more. For Yoruba, go and learn hairdressing.
Do you understand? So he couldn't have, and that's why I tell my clients sometimes when they come with, my parents hated me, they did this, I now try to take them through the process. A person that hates you wouldn't have put you through school. A person that hates you wouldn't have sacrificed. You didn't pay them to do those things. They did it themselves. So could it be that they just did not know how to show you the love that they felt?
Or they were even passing the pain that was passed to them from an event, or how they were raised, because people cannot give you what they don't have. They will raise you the way they have been raised.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of unpacking, and honestly, I really hope that anyone watching this would now, look back on their own lives and see those places that they are still holding on to tight. Like, I will not forgive, I will not let go.
Show them Pepe.
And see, because the truth is, if you don't let some of those parts go, there's a way those shadow parts burst into other areas that you want to.
You didn't even know. How could you have known?
How could I have known?
You would have just thought, I'm just being a good wife. This man is just always
He has problems.
He just has problems.
He has all these quiet people.
Yeah, that's how they
that's how,
and
you would have labeled it something.
For your husband.
Every day.
If he was another man,
every
if
day.
he don't slap you,
every
all your hair wire for don't wire down.
Every freaking day. The weird
I'm not justifying domestic violence. I'm just telling you that sometimes that's how some people react.
It's the
and
truth.
There would have been combustion.
Absolutely. Because if he had decided to match me energy for energy,
had they talk to me like that.
So every freaking day. And it's really weird that even till today, he still, he jokes when people call me coach. He would joke and say, the only coach I know is football coach. So he's still not in this our space.
I know.
But it's so
because
weird how aware he is. Igbo man. If you say African man, he's an Igbo man. But he just has this awareness. He has this progressive mindset, right? And it's honestly, I feel like he's the only one who could have married me right. Honestly, it's just crazy, because pain, my trauma would have messed up any other kind of relationship that I had gotten into. He was so patient. He was so understanding. Even when, that's when you've gone through those kind of things I went through, you now also become an attention junkie. It's my husband that mentioned that thing. He mentioned it. There. And I use it
now. You be coach therapist self.
Because back then, you got married, but you're coming from a place where you're constantly seeking validation. You're constantly seeking attention. You want to hear people tell you you're something, because that's the only way you feel like you're something. You don't feel like you're anything. So somebody has to tell you. And so it now feels like the one your husband is telling you is not really entering. It's one person. Could it be that he's just telling me because he's my husband? So you're trying to get other people to tell you. And to be honest with you, Lara, my husband helped me, because if he didn't, I probably would have started extramarital affairs and things like that. Not because I want to, just because you are trying to validate your existence, or just, make yourself feel powerful. And so back then, I would meet somebody, the person will not know that I'm married, and the person is sending me some messages. Oh, you look so pretty today, and I'm blushing. Oh, thank you. And then my husband will be like, what's going on? Hey, it's just a friend. And he will look through the messages and he'll be like, I'm a guy, and I'm telling you that this guy is going somewhere. You're so insecure. He's just a friend. And he will now be like, babe, I understand you. You're looking for someone to tell you something. You're looking for someone to give you attention, and you have this feeling that the attention I'm giving you is not enough. But I want to ask you something. If you continue this conversation you're having now, and it gets to the point where you eventually cross the line, because trust me, you're going to cross it. If you cross this line, what then? As in, what then? What next? Do you understand? Honestly, to be honest, now that I'm saying it and I'm looking back, I'm like, what give this guy sense?
Yes, that's my next question. Is he a lot older than you?
He's not. He's just 4 years older than me.
What?
But he took me through that process.
Maturity.
He didn't get angry or anything like that. That's weird.
Yes, it is.
So he will see those chats and he'll be like, this thing is going somewhere. And I'm like, no, it's not going anywhere. It's just my friend. It's just admiring my clothes now. It's just... He'll be like, no, I'm a man and I'm the one telling you, this thing is going somewhere. And if it is attention you're seeking, tell me how you want me to give you the attention. And I'm like, which attention? You compliment people. Those days, my husband, the man try for me.
Even me, I can see from what you're saying.
He try. Like when you're trying to save somebody that is determined to drown.
Yes.
There's nothing that pain and trauma will not do. I made my husband become something just to save me. My husband will be scribbling love notes. Igbo man. He will write love notes. He will put it inside my handbag, or he will put it inside my jotter, or he will he leaves work before me. So before I wake up, I'll see love notes. I just want to tell you that you are beautiful and you are kini. Don't ever forget it. And no matter what happens, I love you. I will hold the note. I'll be like. So when those other guys are now saying those things, in my mind, I'm like, but there is someone who is ready to walk through thick and thin with me. Do you get? Now me by myself go begin advise myself.
So Amaka, I need to point out two things that I've always said, and I believe it. You're just reinforcing them. Number one is that love heals.
Oh yes. Oh Jesus. Oh, absolutely. It does. It did for me. Because I did not wake up and decide, let me go for therapy. It was all of these things.
Yes.
It was all of these things. And my husband had every right to say, I beg, which kind of witch is this? But he stood.
Love heals.
He stood.
And this is the second one. There's nothing like, this is how I am. This is what women do. This is what men do.
Yeah.
You said something. You said, my husband became who he is not.
Yeah.
Just to save me.
Absolutely.
Meaning that you can decide to, this is not who I am. Ordinarily, I don't do
but
these
I'm
things.
going to become this person for the greater good.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. And that's why I tell couples in couples therapy, don't say, this is how a man is supposed to love a woman. Or this is my wife.
Do you know the funny thing? As you were talking now, do you know something occurred to me? If my husband had gone the normal traditional man way, he would have pushed me into the arms of those other people.
Of course.
Because I would now see a reason to go and do those things. But he came at it with understanding.
Oh God.
He came at it with, I know what it is you are looking for.
How did
And
know?
I don't even know how you know. I'm saying this thing is 2010.
Bosa for you.
Back then, therapy, coaching was not even
popular.
a thing.
Yeah.
Do you get? He said, I know what you're looking for. And if you just have patience, you will find this thing inside this marriage. You don't need to look. Me, I didn't even know what I was looking for.
That's it.
I didn't know that was what I was looking for. So it's not like I woke up one day and say, I want to get attention from men outside. No. But you know that unconscious need born out of the needs that were not met as a child. Do you understand? That need for validation as a child, that need for love, that need for acceptance that was not met as a child, you begin to seek for it in all places. Lara, the truth is, a lot of the people who are stepping out on their partners in marriage is that need that they are still trying to feel.
I tell people sometimes it's not about you.
It's that need that they're still trying to feel.
And I also always tell people when they come into me in couples therapy and then they say, I did this because she did this. I did this because that's you reacting. Why can't you do something different? Because this man could have said, because you shouted at me, I went and I did not come home for 1 week.
Absolutely.
I started cheating because my wife is not making me.
He's a crazy person.
He's a crazy. It's very funny hearing it. But he could have said that.
Absolutely.
Because that's what everybody.
And he will be justified.
He will be. That's what
in
people,
the eyes of some people.
That's why I tell men, you cannot say I started cheating or I'm cheating because my wife. Because there are different ways.
Your wife might actually need help.
Apart from that, there are different ways to respond to one thing. That's your own response. You chose that one.
Yeah.
And why did you choose it? Because that's your familiar. It's already inside you. There's nothing like, nobody can make you do anything. Nobody. You do whatever is inside of you. They can bring it out. They can trigger it. And then you choose it.
Maybe you had suppressed it.
You had suppressed it.
Now brought
you
it
get
out.
what I mean? But your husband chose, like, my wife is looking like, he's going to step out at this point. How do I save this situation? How do I respond? How do I? And it's also from a place of love for you and a place of love for our marriage.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
This is such
he came into that marriage knowing that he was going to do everything in his power to make it work. I came into that marriage because it was time for me to get married. Do you understand?
Yes.
Like, I was like, I don't reach, so let's marry. But he was determined. So there's an Igbo proverb that says that the sweetness of two friends is in the hands of one. The sweetness of two friends is in the hands of one. Sometimes in marriage, you bring 200%. The other person is not bringing anything.
It's minus 100. Because if somebody is bringing 200,
do you understand?
Yes.
The other person may not bring anything. But if you inside have determined that you're going to... My husband was the one carrying it from at the beginning. He was the one carrying it. I was just... is that how we're doing it today? Okay. He was the one carrying it. But at some point, I now started matching his energy.
Yeah.
And then finally we now...
That's influence.
Bam. That's it.
That's not control.
He modeled the marriage that he wanted us to have to me.
That is what
without shouting.
How can I change my wife? How can I change my husband?
Nothing.
How can this is it.
Nothing.
It's influence.
My husband realized that I love hearing certain words, that I loved being affirmed, and he started my husband is a typical Igbo man. He's the odogu in the real sense of the word. He's not in the let's be doing smushy. But he had to. He started sending. I still have those papers. If I remember, if I would have.
You would have brought them. Of course, you should have. If you don't have it, I think give you a book.
Yeah.
Because
so at some point we now started. We now used. We got a full scrap sheet. So he will write me. I will write and respond. So when he comes back, he will read my response. In the morning, he will write another one.
No. Amaka, you need to tell me. Where did your husband see this?
I don't know.
His family, was it wholesome? His siblings, his mom?
Well, yes, he actually came from a wholesome family.
Of course, there has to be an explanation.
Yes, he actually came
There's
from
no magic about
He is from a wholesome family, even till today.
That's it.
In fact, to be honest, if I count my husband as one of my greatest blessings, I count his family.
Can you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to check these things
Absolutely.
before you marry.
Absolutely.
Wholesome. It comes from the family.
Yeah. His family is they are correct.
Not people that he will go and be telling. They say themselves will say,
there are certain things you can't do in my husband's family. You can't think of doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It came from their grandmother. So till today, all of them, whenever they talk about any good part of them, they attribute it to their grandmother. Honestly, we are influential beings, so Lara.
That's it. You don't know what I'm hearing as you are just saying these things. that grandmother thing, because I have the
Honestly.
plan to influence my lineage, my
Yeah,
generation. I must not just come
your
and go like this
descendants should
without
be able to
influencing and
say,
touching them.
my grandma is the
Yes.
reason I am the way. In my
Absolutely.
husband's family, you can't quarrel with your do you understand? As long as you people are from that Obi family, you people, you can't. She usually, there's a saying, I came to meet it, I didn't meet her. She died a long time ago. I didn't meet her. But I know her sayings that siblings rifts, you put it inside tobacco container. You know, tobacco container is hard
Snuff.
to snuff container is hard to open. So siblings rifts, put it inside cigar container and seal it inside there. So nothing your sibling does to you should make you, take a drastic action. You people are blood. You know that kind of thing. So
wait, so before you go, you said I was not there. She has died long ago. I came to meet it. That is legacy.
This bam. Till tomorrow, everyone in that family still talks about her. So honestly, I used to tell people that anyone that I see, whenever my husband's nephews or cousins are going to get married, and I look at their wives, I'm like, hi, you're coming into a fantastic family. You're coming into that is something. And so it also helped. And for me, it wasn't anything I did. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah. Yes, in Igbo land, we do all of the asking, Idrese. We call it Idrese. So we do that. But there's certain things you cannot find in Idrese. Idrese is usually, what type of family are they? Are they good people? Do they have mental illness in their lineage? Do they have suicide patterns in their lineage? They look for all of those things. But there are certain
salient... You cannot find out how a man will be reacting to a crazy wife.
Yes. There are certain salient things you can't find out, yes.
So how did all of this affect mothering, being a mom for you, especially losing your mom at a very young age?
Well, the funny thing, someone would think that it would make me that kind of panicky kind of mother, but I think, Lara, I think that when you are whole and wholesome, it also comes to play. It comes to play. I'm not a paranoid mother, because no, I'm not. Because if my mom's death taught me anything, it taught me that you could die today and the world will move on. And your kids will be fine, one way or the other. Do you understand? So for me, and this is what I usually tell the women that come to me, seek your wholesomeness first. When you are whole, you can give wholesomeness to your kids. But when you're coming from a place of fear and anxiety and this thing, you also put those emotions into your children. And it's not a very good thing. Do you understand me? In my marriage, me and my husband are best friends, and my kids know.
I see it on your status all the time.
My kids know. Because when me and him were fighting for our lives, you people were not there. You people were not there. When we were fighting to know whether this thing will happen or not, you people were not there. So even though I love you with everything in me, but you see this man, you people should leave him for me. That kind of thing. So, and the honest truth is, that's one of the biggest legacies you can also leave for your kids.
Yes.
Modeling a healthy relationship to them.
It will help them also.
It helps them.
And repeat the pattern.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy to hear. Because we rarely see.
Yeah.
We just
when we talk, we just talk.
Now this energy, behavior and all of those things. I've never ever really heard you share all of this, and this is so beautiful to hear. I'm telling you, because when you go to a therapist or a coach or a business strategist or whatever, their story helps. Where they are coming from helps to it helps the impact,
and it helps show you what's possible.
Yes,
it shows you what's possible. If they can come back from that, some people will hear my story and they came with their own, and when they now hear my own, their mouth is open. So if I could come back from all of this, right, there is a possibility that you would come back to.
Yes. You must share this story with your wife's roundtable because this is such a, do you know, this is a masterclass for women.
Yeah,
It is a
it
masterclass
is.
for women.
It
I'm
is.
telling you, because this conversation can heal a marriage. Can start before you think husband doesn't used to give me what he doesn't used to do this. He doesn't. You yourself, can you check yourself?
Do you know the funny thing? People think that marriage is a magic wand that you wave like this and everybody just acts correct. We are all products of what we have been through.
Yes.
We are all products of what we have seen. Do you understand? So that your husband, that your wife, in as much as they love you and all of that, but they are still products of those,
where they are coming
of everything that they've been through.
especially
So,
their background.
In pressure situations, those things would pop up. So before you castigate and do all of that, it will pay for you to understand where that person is coming from. When a lot of people come to say, oh, their husbands are doing that, and I ask them, what sort of family did your husband grow in? Then his mother and his father, they were just there. They don't really know
the depth.
The depth. So sometimes I'll be like, find out, and they will, after a while, when they come back, they're like, oh, my husband was, my husband is the first son, so all the responsibilities of the home was on him, and his father was not very active in the home, so he took charge of the family early enough, and now you're wondering why he wants to take charge of everything.
Of your life too.
Because that's who he is. That's what, it's not who he is, it's who he has been programmed to be.
Yes.
So if you let him understand that you're now a partner and you're here to ease his burden, who wants to be you? Some people need rest too now.
Even men. Because
You know-
women used to think that men like trouble. It's not true. They actually want peace too. You know.
So, but because he has not, he know, all he knows is control. All he knows is taking charge. Because the times he has not taken charge, things spoiled.
Yes.
So
That's
he's
another thing.
scared.
He becomes a control freak.
Yes, he's scared that he has to take charge. If not, things will spoil. So you also need to come to him with understanding. I get where you're coming from, but allow me to help you. People love to hear things
Okay,
like
you need
that.
to, because I don't think you really project yourself.
Yeah,
lot.
this part of me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because you really know a lot, especially about childhood trauma and marriage. I think you need to project more
That-
of
that part
That
of me.
part. You need to let me teach you. Maybe you pay me another money to do this.
Manuel.
You need to learn how to do sponsored ads. Anyway, I see that you're doing that.
Yeah.
But not just the confidence part. This part that you're talking about, the helping the women,
Yeah.
the wives, even marriage, because you cannot just help the wives without helping their husbands.
Their husbands.
Because when
yeah.
you repair the woman now,
The husband benefits.
do you get?
Absolutely.
And if the man is not okay to, he will still spoil what you are repairing.
Absolutely.
You get? So no, I'm so grateful for this conversation.
Yeah.
It's so wholesome. And it's such a in-depth conversation because I didn't know we're gonna get.
I honestly have not spoken about a large percentage of what I talked about here anyway.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
the need has not arisen before for me to talk about it. Yeah.
to do it.
So I've not
And
not
I'm
talked
so
about
privileged,
it. Yeah.
that this is the first
How they
place.
healed.
How they
Yeah.
healed brings you
Inside scoop.
yes, and wholesome conversations.
Yeah.
You understand? Inside, like real inside school. I should
Inside
change the name
scoop.
to inside school. Yes, so we have trivia, that we're gonna play after all these serious talks.
Yeah.
How to test for your. In fact, the name they call this thing is very funny. My producers, they say Amaka Unplugged. You need to start
got
a
you.
show called
got
Amaka
you.
Unplugged.
All
Heal and laugh. Heal, laugh, repeat. They don't give you show name.
Amaka Unplugged.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
So instructions: answer as fast and as truthfully as possible.
Okay.
While keeping it light and breezy. Now wow.
Conditions.
Conditions. No wrong answers here.
Okay.
1. What year did you start Wives Roundtable?
2013.
Which talk show queen is family known for giving away cars on her birthday episode?
Oprah Winfrey.
What's the most commonly consumed swallow in Nigeria?
Gary.
Good. Which of this is not a certified coaching practice? NLP, PYP, family life, positive psychology.
PYP. Kilo njebe.
True or false answer? Positive psychology focuses on fixing what is wrong with you.
What?
Positive,
true or false?
Yes,
false.
Okay. You know Buko.
Because I was waiting for it to.
Part 2, this or that.
Okay.
Pick one, no overthinking. Now we see them right here, they read for you.
I am here.
Number 1, food. Okay. Under food and drink. Okay. Swallow or chew?
Swallow. Chew.
Team swallow. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Juice or wine?
Juice.
Fried rice or jollof?
Jollof.
Puff or the old small chops?
Puff because
Nigerian baby this. So radio or TV?
TV.
Confidence coach. She wants to show. Hosting events or coaching clients?
2 of them. Both of them.
Choose one. If you really have to choose one. I know the one you will choose. I know it will be difficult for you, but I know the answer. Tell me. Which one? Hosting events or coaching?
Events.
I know.
I love you, my client. So
I know.
what?
I know.
I'm alive
on the stage. Because I remember our stage too, the Women's Conference.
I don't want to come down.
Amaka lit the whole place. So. And nobody could ever tell that you were Catholic. Even though we're doing a Pentecostal program.
Yeah.
And you're such a good host. Very good host. Cut this part and put it on your page. Yes. So, working in silence or working with music?
Silence.
Good. We are getting old. That's what that means.
Silence.
Early morning or late night?
Early morning. No, as in early morning or late night to do what?
For work.
Late night too. Don't touch my early morning.
Personal preference, book or podcast?
Podcasts.
Solo retreat or girls getaway?
Girls get away.
You need to do Amaka.
Girls get
Invite
away.
me for
what am I going solo to go and do?
What are we looking for in this life? We don't solo for our life. Now we're double. Talking or writing?
Talking.
Long dress or trousers and blazer?
I don't like long dress.
I know. I don't think it's a trouser babe. It's true. You wear a lot of trousers.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. So wait, let me say this one thing before. Part of my lack of confidence was that people were telling me that I have flat buttocks. So I used to wear only very tight trousers that were here. So, but now that you see me in big trouser all the time.
Now you can
because me, I cannot care.
Don't worry, it's not flat.
I cannot care.
You look fine. Go. Quiet time or family time?
Family time, but quiet time sometimes.
Yes. Heal in private or share the process publicly? Which kind? You don't mind them. Forgive them in advance.
You do the two now.
Yes, but why will you be sharing your business in public? You heal in private. Then you now
just share hair. You share
after you are healed. So, what's your go-to move when fear creeps in? There are options here.
Okay.
Pray, journal it out, dance it off, talk to a friend.
When fear creeps in.
Yes.
I do none of those ones. So.
Yes.
I self-coach.
Oh, really?
I self-coach, yeah.
That's such a very, very good trait. Because not a lot of people can do that.
No, I self-coach.
So you talk to yourself?
Oh, yes.
That by myself, I advise myself.
But it is the truth. I actually have conversations with myself.
That's so good.
Yes.
That's so good. So you've just had a tough day. What's your healing ritual? Hot bath, watch something funny, sleep, read an inspiring book.
Hey, watch something funny, hot bath. Watch something funny with my husband, hot bath, and
like man with my husband.
Very much so.
So you're a man liker.
I like man.
Chibo, this thing must be in the edit.
Hey, if you know how I like man,
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Amaka go give me for here. You're speaking to a room full of doubting women.
Yeah.
You open with A, bold personal story. B, a funny icebreaker. 3, a powerful quote. D, a question that hits home.
Go through that.
1, a bold personal story. 2, a funny icebreaker. 3.
That's my go-to.
A
Yeah.
funny icebreaker.
Yeah.
True.
It's a funny icebreaker.
I remember the one.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
came and be like, this one that all of you are sitting towards the
it
back.
works every
all
time
the
because you
time.
can't connect with people you have not rapport with.
That's true.
So when you have them, then you can start with your bold story or all of that. You can't just come in and start with bold story.
They just like, what's wrong with this one? shift. I know,
Yeah.
Amaka, you're as much as you were such a good interviewer, you're also such a good
Interviewee.
I like it. I don't want to use the name.
Interviewee.
But you're such a good and fun to be with interview, because you have, the joy of an interviewer is someone who loosens up, who's funny, who you understand, who
adds vibe to the thing.
and also has wisdom
you
to
interview
share.
somebody that is just uptight like this. The
You
thing
go
can just
ask
throw
question
you,
like 59 times.
honestly, and it will throw you. Vibe, energy. We are all energy.
You can spread it.
Yeah,
So
and
the
you now
person
become dull.
You now become
At the end, the program is like, we are sorry to announce transition to glory. That's how it will now come out. You're like, is that my show? Because the person is just sitting and answering questions in monosyllables.
Yes.
So how did you heal? I healed.
I went to therapy. Now, so
oh.
you now employ, which is what I do a lot. You now use your coaching skill
to
bring it, like how?
There are some people that refuse. How? I met a coach and then we worked it out. They no go agree.
Your guests are watching this show. They'll say, I will never come back again. Don't be your fault.
No, but you know the funny thing?
What's that?
I still find a way.
That's the point.
A lot of them start very prim and proper. But by the time we are done, we are raising leg and laughing like this and doing like this. And at the end, they are like, yeah. No, it's a gift.
Yes, you are in your area of calling. Like, I can tell that. Tell you that for free. Like, you bring joy. Me, I always like having you around. I love to see your status.
Loudest. The people at the back are not hearing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you from the beginning, these guests, you will laugh, you will learn, you will, almost cry. You will get wisdom and depth, because that is how Amaka is. Rambunctious. So from this episode, I have learned a lot, and I'm going to take it home, and I'm sure you that you are watching, you know that for your marriage, for your life, for parenting, for everything, for confidence, I'm sure you have taken something wholesome to go with you. And I always tell you, since they can do it, you can also do it. I'm telling you, it's for real. Till I come your way again, next episode, subscribe to this channel and share with your friends, your boyfriend, your husband, and everybody that you know, even your enemy. See you at my next episode. Bye for now.
We don't do a bye-bye dance.
We will still do now. Thank you.
How are you clapping like you're hungry?